So let's get into some things that were more so like our culture though, right? Yeah, there's another picture of it right there. Yeah, this is a good distance. You can see the things that we're not supposed to be involved with. The scarification, destruction, cuttings, bloodletting, as you see there, rituals. And once again, we are a tribal people. You should know this already. And we did mark ourselves, but we marked ourselves with things that were about elevation. And Yahweh knows this. Look at that craziness right there. That's branding. Look at that. It's going to heal ugly, and it's very chaotic. Some people will call it art. So let's get into something similar to what we would have done back in the day. Or today too, as a matter of fact, to those who really know. So these are Ethiopians. And of course the scripture says, are ye not like the Ethiopians? So once again, look no further than I would say in quotations, a civilized Ethiopian or Kushite or Kushi. Kasha, you know, to see similarities, because we are mixed in with this group, even to this day. So they have tattoos, but in a fashion to where it's not going to heal, like this sister right here. So we would have had tattoos similar to this too. We would have had forehead tattoos or markings. We would have had neck ornamentation for various reasons. We would have our Yahweh or our letters on us. Most definitely. A lot of our sisters would have had certain markings upon them also. Right? Like these sisters do. Even down to the ill-braided hairstyle. See? Some of the cultures, our cultures blend a lot. See, sisters have tattoos. I don't think you can see that one. She's got it on her neck. It's kind of hard to see. Yeah, and there was even an instant where when the Europeans went to, like this sister here. Let's see, this sister here has got them on her hands. She's got the tav markings. Some are very religious markings, so that's why I chose to show these pictures as a highlight. And also their hairs are stylized. They're very braided, you know what I'm saying? We would definitely have had that going on. Here's another one from a sister here to kind of show you. See, these aren't incisions or cuttings. These are just imprints or pressings, which is similar to how the Spirit or Yahweh or Allahayim presses things into our knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in a pressing way, and it leaves an imprint. And the people who are around us can see it like as if it was, can see our souls as if it is printed upon us externally. So these teachings are actually things that is worthy of meditation and contemplation. Now I know that markings are not for everybody, and that's fine. All praises to Yahweh for revealing what's supposed to be for you and what is not. Right? We see a lot of representations of it. And I'm just showing you these Ethiopians because of, now not all of them, but a large number of the religious ones, so-called, are very similar to JAHsh. And also the Polynesians are very, very similar as far as markings that we would have had to represent our tribes. For instance, Judah would have had tattoos or images of lions, not to worship the lion, but as almost like an elevation offering or an imprint, a meditation, done by fellow Yasharal or fellow people of the Spirit. All praises to Yahweh. So it would not be considered a bloodletting, because it is not a sacrifice to a scattered mind or the dead, in other words. Man, there was another thing I was going to look up to use as an example. So we've got the Polynesian culture, went through that. Got the Ethiopian culture, so-called, went through that, those styles. Let's see, to show even down to their style of dress. And I went through what we are not, definitely not to do, brandings. Although you know how we are, we'll do them anyway. African, so-called African scarification. Those are not elevation offerings. End up looking Yahweh doing that to your offspring. You know what I'm saying? That's not funny, but seriously. Yeah. So I don't want to make this too long. And there may be a part 2 to this. But I just want to go into certain aspects of things. Let's see here. Hebrew tattoos. So, although this is the so-called Babylonian script, you know that we would have had different types in some instances, more ornate styles of markings. And also people, other nations would have known who we are too by our markings. Make no mistake about it. Just like our locks and our way that we wore our hair, certain styles, which is another subject I want to get into, because a lot of camps get that wrong. They say that men cannot have long locks, which is false. Just like they say that Yasharal cannot get tattoos, which is just an abstract of the word TATAU, which is a marking or a sign or a monument, which is false. It's part of our culture. It's not going anywhere, no matter how romanticized and how theologically Roman Catholic devil system mindset. And you know, the irony of it all is that even the popes and all these people who run them, the Jesuits, they all have tattoos too. The same ones who created their theological romanticized schools are the same ones, praises to Yah, who created, who told them to go to the so-called natives and say that, look at their tattoos, right? All these Christianized Catholic tattoos, bro. Trying to tell y'all, man. While y'all are sit back and worried about the boogeyman and all these so-called sins that they got y'all spooked about, they're living it up off your same culture. Some fucking idiots, man. Our people gotta wake up, man. Just trying to tell you. Look at that. And I'm not fronting. I mean, it looks good. That's some really good art, man. Imagine if JAHsh would be going to schools, learning to hone their art. Imagine the dope Yahweh and other forms of representation of our tribes that we could have, rather than having to see the most beautiful forms of it going to waste, so to speak, with these Catholic images and, you know, penis worship and all this craziness. I mean, look at that. That's some really good art, man. I'm just saying. I'm not a hater. No. But in the same sense, hey. But anyhow, I don't want to make this too long. Hopefully it was informative and not too boring. I just wanted to highlight Sarat, and naphash to get a really good understanding of what that dead meant when it said don't get markings in remembrance of the dead in the English translation. And y'all remember, man, we're a tribal people. We have deep culture, man. Deep culture. You gotta peel back the layers and find out what this book is really saying, what this Tanakh is really saying about who you are as a culture, right? I mean, we have barbecues nowadays, and so-called black people and so-called minorities are the best ones who do it. I'm just saying, that's not for no reason. We was barbecuing on the altar, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, y'all gotta read between the lines and look and see parts of our culture that still exist and right in front of your face. So this is your brother JAHsh. All praises to Yahweh. Shalom.